You were Anderson Herrera. All right. Mr. Herrera, you're charged with criminal trespass. You are facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present if you cannot afford one. One will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On February 6th, 2025, the officer was notified by a witness that a former student, the defendant, was inside Spring High School. The defendant was unenrolled from the school by the associate principal on February 4th, 2025, and was told not to return. Spring ISD school records show the defendant is no longer an active student, and the school officer and associate principal advised the defendant to leave on February 6th a second time, not to return. The officer observed the defendant walking on the walkway with other students, and the defendant continued to walk in the officer's direction. The officer observed the defendant pull his hoodie over his head while walking towards the bus ramp area. The officer was in full uniform and gave the defendant a verbal command to stop and follow the officer to his patrol vehicle. The defendant disregarded these verbal commands and began walking in the opposite direction. The officer grabbed the defendant by his left arm, and the defendant began to resist, pulling away to the point where he started coming out of his hoodie. The officer verbally commanded the defendant to stop, and the defendant broke loose and used evasive foot maneuvers to gain distance from the officer in the direction of an open parking lot. The officer notified Spring ISD police and requested assistance. The defendant was detained 300 yards from the initial interaction.
So he was where?
He was at Spring High
I
School.
know, but was he in the outside or was he?
He was on the outside walking towards a parking lot and walking with a group of students when the officer interacted with
He's
him.
outside. Was he, so any
Still on
point?
the property owner of Spring High School, and they told him not to return to that high school. They told him on the 4th of February not to return to the high school. He was on the
Yeah,
property.
I understand that,
Mhm.
but he's on the outskirts, he's on the sidewalk.
If he was walking on a walkway with other students.
Walkway of the school,
It was
near the parking lot of the school, which is owned by the school.
yes, Judge, it was the walkway with other students, and that's when the officer saw him and tried to make contact with him.
I mean, I'd like to know where, is he on public property? Is he just on a sidewalk on the outside of the school, Just walking?
He's with other students on the walkway walking towards the.
Is that,
Further in the DMs, it describes it as the walkway near the portable buildings located north of the band parking lot. So
let's do this, Mr. Herrera. I'm going to appoint you a lawyer today so we can get down and dirty with your case a little bit more. Just take a seat for me in the jury box. Let me get you a lawyer, okay?
Judge, can I get on the sign first?
Oh, yeah. Okay, let me have you sign a receipt real quick. Here.
Anderson Herrera, told you guys questions on PC.
Yeah, have you gone through the facts? Have you gone through the facts? Okay. I don't remember just because we've had so many cases. Will you refresh my memory on Mr. Anderson?
Yes, Judge.
Or Mr. Herrera, sorry. I thought that PC was kind of shaky, and so that's why I wanted to appoint a lawyer to see what arguments you may or may not have.
On February 6, 2025, an officer was notified by a witness that a former student, the defendant, was
Oh, that's
inside
right.
Spring High School. The defendant was unenrolled from the school by the associate principal.
Wait. You just said in Spring High School.
Yes, I spoke to the officer to get a better picture of where he was on the campus. He walked through a gate. He was never inside the school itself, but he walked through gates to be on the property of the school.
I mean, is he on the sidewalk?
I have it on Google Maps if I can show you where he went.
Okay, yeah, come on.
Okay.
What do you think?
I think that it's pretty shaky and my client has,
So was here, walk through this gate, get through here to go into these parking lots, to go around here. And then this is go around here.
Did you see?
20 years since I've done that, but
Take a look so you can see exactly where she's talking about. I mean, he's like,
Also, you said you went through here. Parking lot. And then this is here where he was told not to come back by the principal and officers on scene, and he came back to the property, walked through a gate.
it's my understanding that he was told not to come back to the school as a student. I don't think he had entered the property yet. He was basically.
that's so interesting. Don't come back as a student. Does that mean you can come back as a civilian?
And so where does he go if he has questions about a charter school that he's about to go to? This is the place where he naturally thought that he would go to make such inquiries, and
Yeah.
he's standing out there cautiously not entering the building.
Understood.
Alright.
So just no
But
PC
I
on the
will
criminal,
now admonish him, don't go near.
but just no PC on the criminal trespass. What about the evading?
Was it fruit?
Yes, sir.
It's Friday.
Man, I want to go see my Marvel movie. Yeah, I mean, the reviews are bad too. Damn it. I shouldn't say that. I mean, all right, I'm gonna find a PC.
May we,
Okay, do you have something else that you want to add?
No, just, can we just admonishing nothing?
Oh, yes, all right.
Whereas the person.
Come up. Don't go back. I'm gonna find no probable cause on both your cases now, but look, you know that they don't want you back. Don't go back as a student, as a person.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
They've got eyes on you. So you go back over there, it's just gonna end up in a bad way, right? You're on notice now. So even going near the property, it's not gonna end well. You got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, man, good luck.
Thank you.
Judge, was that notice gonna vote?
Yeah.
As a student, Judge, right?